Hello, it's 9 p.m. and welcome to our English news edition brought to you live from RTD channel. And tonight headlines are: Presidency inauguration of a car, a simulation room at the Djibouti Industrial School known as LEAK. And concerning the presidential election in France, Emmanuel Macron elected new president with more than 66% of the vote cast.
That was the headlines, and now to the national news. The President of the Republic directed the commissioning ceremony of a significant number of new technical materials of high school, industrial and commercial high school. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has held today, Monday, early in the morning, the official ceremony of the commissioning of a significant number of new technical materials to high industrial and commercial school. It is essentially of materials for the Department of Learning Electrical and Mechanical System of the LEAK, main establishment of Djibouti in the area of exemption of vocational training. During this ceremony, the President of the Republic inquired about overview of all the new equipment acquired by the High School of Industrial and Commercial High School. He also received the explanation related to the usefulness of each of these materials. At the end of his term within the different unit of training of the High School, Industrial and Commercial High School, the Head of State has urged the students of this institution to take care of new equipment, welcoming the effort undertaken by the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training with the view to connect our countries to an efficient level of technical competence and also technology. With this new hardware, our country develop additional means to dock with the needs of the professional market and also to reduce unemployment, especially that of young people. Welcome President Guelleh. The Minister of the Department, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, is also expressed to the micro of the press at the end of this ceremony. In the course of this intervention, it has mainly been stated of the acquisition of the new equipment of the Industrial and Commercial High School under the direct pulse of the President of the Republic. The Chief of the State is at the origin of the special fund established for the benefit of the vocational training and which allowed the purchase of this new hardware, said in substance the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training.
كيد مغلي هالقولها تطال شعبكوها ودا كولا نفسودو أيكوها ديكا وهيدا وليكي عديك اسبوكو قريرتان سيدي هوغو شعيركي تنيدكوها بيسا تنيدكوها بيسا
doorasho dadkiisa u hagar baxe halyaygaan dooranow
In an interview granted to the national television RTD during the inauguration at the League of the Truck Driving Simulation Heavyweights by the President of the Republic, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training did not miss to thank the President of the Republic for his support and interest in the vocational training of young people. He also stressed the need to train youth and students of the League on trades that enable them to be competitive in the labor market and to open their own business. In the course of his intervention, he has mainly been stated the acquisition of the new equipment of the League under the direct pulse of the head of state, Ismail Margile. The head of state, he said, is at the origin of the special fund established for the benefits of the vocational training and which allow the purchase of the new hardware, saying students, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training.
And we took advantage of the inauguration ceremony to ask the President of the Republic his impression about the equipment with new teaching materials, in particular the truck driving simulator. The head of the state insisted on the fact to generate in young people the spirit of entrepreneurship through their mastery of the trade, becoming highly skilled workers. The didactic instrument and also education which bring change in the life of the young student in all the areas such as the trade, mechanical, electricity, energy, driving. While these instruments are very important because we live in a period of technological advance, he said, and also I encourage to this opportunity for young people to engage in entrepreneurship. It must be in mind that the vocational training plays a key role in the development of young people and also in the fight against unemployment.
And now concerning the French presidential election, the President of the Republic, Ismail Margile, sent a congratulation message to the newly elected President of France, Emmanuel Macron, who won the second round of French presidential election yesterday. In his message, the head of state wished success to Emmanuel Macron. There is no doubt that the political program that characterizes you and the mastery of the files you have so skillfully demonstrated will be a valuable asset in the conduct of your country's affairs, wrote President Gili. Be sure that you will always find with the people and the government of Djibouti all the necessary assistance to strengthen the relation of friendship and cooperation between our two countries and our two people, has pointed out President Gili. With more than 66% of the vote cast, Emmanuel Macron was elected President of the French Republic against Marine Le Pen.
Still on the national news, Emmanuel Macron became Sunday 7 May the 25th President of the French Republic by winning the second round face to Marine Le Pen. According to the result of the Minister of the Interior, the candidate walked close of 66.6% of the vote in the face of the frontist candidate, which collected 33.94%. To 39 years, the former Minister of the Economy becomes the youngest President of the Fifth Republic. An hypothesis, there is still a year, a new page opens. He reacted, wishing it to be one of the hope and the confidence found. A graduate of the National School of Administration, Emmanuel Macron began his career in the public administration as Inspector of Finance prior to joining the bank Rothschild, where he is quickly promoted as Associate Manager. In 2012, he returned to the public service and is appointed Deputy Secretary General of the Elysée before joining Bercy as Minister of the Economy, where he will give his name to the bill for the growth, the activity and also the equality of economic opportunity. On 6 April 2016, Emmanuel Macron, then Minister of the Economy of the government of Manuel Valls, launched its movement, which he baptized Running. On 30 August, he presented his resignation. The track is then free for a nomination of the Elysee. On 16 November 2016, the former banker announced that it is officially a candidate for the presidency of the Republic.
And now let's come back to the country's news. During his first visit to Djibouti, the president of the autonomous government of Zanzibar, Mr. Mohammed Ali Chaine, visited this morning DP Wall, the new port of Dorale and the free zones. First of all, the president of the autonomous government of Zanzibar, Ali Mohammed Chaine, went to the DP Wall where he visited the various infrastructure there. Upon his arrival, he was welcomed by Mahmoud Hussein, Director of Operations, where he will receive full details on the practical activities. Then the president and his delegation went to the new port of Dorale, where he was welcomed at his arrival by the Director General of the Port of Djibouti, Saad Omar Gili, as well his close collaborators. The director of the port explained to the president of Zanzibar and the accompanying delegation the port activities as well the facilities offered by our country in terms of import-export, and he understands the importance of the investment made in this matter. Finally, the president of the autonomous government of Zanzibar and his delegation went to the free zones. They were welcomed on their arrival by Mahmoud Hussein, Director of Operations, and Mohammed Aden Wabiri, Principal Advisor to the President of the Free Zones Authority. The guest of honor and his delegation were able to review the entire range of activities of the free zones following the explanation provided by the head of marketing department, Mohammed Arif. They later explained to the delegation that the port of Djibouti and its free zones constitute a strategic and unavoidable platform covering an entire regions that extend from the Horn of Africa up to Sudan through the coastal countries of the Red Sea. Let's not forget that the Minister of Transport and Equipment, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa, accompanied the delegation during this important visit of today.
And the First Lady of Zanzibar, Moan Wima Nasser Shamti, who accompanied her husband, the President of Zanzibar, as part of his working visit to Djibouti, visited this morning the headquarters of the National Union of Djibouti Women. The First Lady of Zanzibar, Nasser Shamti, was accompanied during her visit by the Minister of Women and the Family, Ms. Mumina Ahmed Hassan, as well as the Secretary of State in charge of Social Affairs, Ms. Muna Osman Aden. On arrival at the UNIFD, the First Lady of Zanzibar, Ms. Nasser Shamti, was welcomed on the spot by the UNIFD Secretary General, the women members of the National Union of Djiboutian Women, as well as the students of the UNIFD, who have reserved a warm welcome to her. Afterwards, the First Lady from Zanzibar visited the various premises of the UNIFD, namely the kitchen where the girls are learning how to cook. And she has also received explanation from those responsible who have explained how her young people girls have benefited from its training. Then the First Lady from Zanzibar continued her visit to the sewing room, where she was able to observe the smooth running of the training given to the girls. Finally, the First Lady from Zanzibar closed her visit to the new premises of the listening cell, and here she also received explanation concerning the activities and mission of the cell. And during this visit, the First Lady from Zanzibar was given a screening of the role and mission of the UNIFD, including the fight against female genital mutilation and its various services. Finally, the First Lady paid tribute to the Minister for Women and Families and to all the people who welcomed her, and she also showed her willingness to cooperate with the National Union of Djibouti Women and that of Zanzibar.
And pursuing her tour while continuing the visit made by the President of Zanzibar and Djibouti, the First Lady of Zanzibar had the opportunity to visit the child care center known as Dariel. Accompanied by a delegation from Zanzibar, the First Lady was warmly welcomed there by the officials of the center at Dariel, members of the Ministry of Education. In a speech given to the national television, the First Lady of Zanzibar did not miss to thank the officials of the center at Dariel, who extend to her as well to her delegation a warm welcome which justified the will to promote a relation between the two countries. Indeed, the Dariel nursery is a center center, let's recall that welcomes the children of the participate in the development of the country.
And during the day of Monday, May 8, the mayor of the city of Djibouti, Ms. Fatma Awali Osman, hosted at the city hall in the presence of the president of the municipalities, Mr. Ibrahim Said Badul, Mr. Mohammed Omar Ismail, and also Mr. Wabiri Noureleye, delegation consisting of the permanent secretary, Mr. Pierre Billet, and his councillor, Laurent Jabov, on a working visit to Djibouti from 8 to 9 May 2017. The International Association of French-speaking Mayors was founded in 1979 with 20 founding cities on the initiative of the Mayor of Paris, Jacques Chirac, and also Jean Pelletier of Quebec City. It is both a forum for consultation between mayors and a network of cooperation committed to strengthening local democracy. It also carries out projects that contribute to the improvement of the well-being of the population and the modernization of municipal management, chaired by the Mayor of Paris, Anne Hidalgo. The IMF has for permanent secretary Pierre Billet since 2009. To this end, it should be made clear that the city of Djibouti has been a member of the IMF since 1980 and has a good and close relationship with this operator of the Francophonie, which is intended as an expression of the solidarity between the local elected representatives who unite them and promote the values they share. The strengthening of local democracy, both representative and participatory, enhancing the place of women in decision-making process and the planned management of local development, and which is also defined as within the Francophone spaces, assist local authorities and decentralization processes, and also in the implementation of urban development policies in support of the Millennium Development Goals. It plays at the heart of its strategy the capacity of local elected representatives to play the role as local leaders in a position to synergize all knowledge and skills in favor of the development of their territories.
And still with the national news, the Deputy Minister responsible for decentralization, Hamadou Mohamed Aramis, today in the meeting room of his office, launched the study support to decentralization finance by the delegation of the European Union in the presence of the ambassador, the head of the delegation of the European Union, Adam Kulash, the three consultants and the team of the European Union delegation, the delegate ministry responsible for decentralization. The objective of this study, to be undertaken by three consultant experts, is to support the Ministry in the implementation of this roadmap through informed technical assistance to the holding of the meeting on the decentralization that is intended to organize the preparation of two documents, one on a preliminary draft code of territorial committees in the Republic of Djibouti, and the other on a strategy for transferring resources to the regional council from the budget, state, local taxation and donor assistance. EU Ambassador Adam Kulash said it was very important day with the implementation of this project. In his opening remark, the Minister Aramis recalled first of all that the essential mission assigned to the delegate department responsible for decentralization during its creation, the President of the Republic, which attached, he said, great importance to the success of the construction site of the decentralization, has put in place by decree of 23 July 2016 an interministerial commission of reflection on the strengthening of this process. It goes, he said, without saying that any department will hold aware thereof the process of this study and that it will share with its result. The minister did not miss to thank the ambassador Adam Kulash and through him the delegation of the European Union in Djibouti for its financial support for the realization of this study. The minister did not, took the opportunity to formulate its wishes to rely on the support of the delegation of the European Union in Djibouti to carry out the mission for the reform of the governance which is running, he finally concluded.
Still on the national news, a training workshop on the maintenance of biomedical infrastructure and equipment was organized this morning in the meeting room of the General Hospital PLT in the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdile, General Hospital PLT Hussein Mohammed Hussein, as well as representative of JICA. To this end, this training workshop is chaired by a team of the National Training Center for Hospital Maintenance and also technician based in Senegal and funded by the Japan International Cooperation Agency, namely called JICA, from 8 to 10 May 2017 for all technicians, the General Hospital PLT and the Balboa Hospital. In addition, this training will improve hospital maintenance in our country as well as strengthen the capacities of technicians and engineers in health facilities. And finally, this workshop is part of the framework of strengthening technical capacities in the maintenance of biomedical equipment in favor of Francophone countries initiated by JICA.
Another news now, with a view to revitalizing Islamic finance in Djibouti, a meeting was held this morning between a representative of the Djibouti Central Bank, a representative of the Islamic Development Bank, as well as the International Monetary Fund. The objective of the meeting was to redefine the strategy with the support of the Islamic Development Bank and the International Monetary Fund. The IDP delegation as well the IMF delegation had visited Djibouti to meet with the Islamic banking professionals and representative of the central bank, which is the regulator, he said. And this morning, the delegation of the IDP and the IMF have restituted the fruit of their work by instituting on governance through Sharia. Djibouti has set up the Sharia National Committee composed of 5 ulama experts on Islamic finance laws, which are responsible for giving recommendations and guidelines to enable Djibouti product and service comply with Islamic law.
Like the whole world, the Red Crescent of Djibouti today celebrates the World Day of the Red Cross and also the Crescent under the theme of Everywhere for All, a day dedicated to the scholar of the founder of the Red Cross, Henri Dunant. The ceremony took place within the Balboa Community Health Center, headed by the acting secretary, Mr. Daher Osman. The young volunteers recalled the 7 principles that govern the action of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent in the world: humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, volunteerism, unity, and also universality, a noble mission of assistance, a support, a relief of human suffering. The National Red Crescent Society of Djibouti has the task of preventing and also alleviating in all circumstances the suffering of men and women, protecting life and health and respect for the human person, especially in times of conflict and other emergencies, to work for disease prevention and also development, to encourage voluntary assistance and the availability of members of the movement, and also a universal sense of solidarity needs its protection and also its support.
After Lesotho for the 60th session, the African Olympic Board will meet this year in Djibouti for the 70th session of the General Assembly of the Association of National Olympic Committee of Africa from May 9 to 11. The countdown has begun for the preparation for this major and historic event. For the past week, the various committees of the organization have been running a race against time to give a full expression to this meeting. The rooms, the tables, the chairs, the decoration, the installation of the materials, all the details are taken into account and all the ingredients are gathering to be able to ensure the faithful day. It is now only 24 hours to carry this Olympic flame in our country. Major personalities will take part in this first meeting of its kind in our country, such as Thomas Bach, President of the IOC, General Intendant General Lassana Pofintou, President of AOC, General Ahmed Nasser, President of the Union Union of African Sport Confederation, the African members of the IOC, as well as the President of the African NOC. Approximately 100 delegates will take part in the General Assembly representing the NOC and IOC members in Africa. 10 other guests from partners, organizations, International Federation, Organizing Committee for the Olympic Games, African Union, and various others estimate at 3 people. In total, 200 personalities will take part in this size of ANC, which will spread over 2 days.
And the Anoka General Assembly will take place from 9 to 11 May 2017 at Kempinski Palace Hotel. For this occasion, the CEO of the Anoka arrived today in order to take part at the event. Let's record the Association of National Olympic Committee of Africa is an international organization based in Abuja, Nigeria, which brings together the 53 African National Olympic Committees. Anoka was founded on 28 June 1981 in Lome by Anani Matia and John Antonio Samaranch with the help of Nekatio Tisema. It was then known as the Pan-African Olympic Institution for Sport, Youth, Human Development and the Promotion of Olympic Values.
That's it for tonight's news. Thanks for being with us and have a great afternoon.